jumping over here to the calendar. So, okay, so we're October 4th. Learning Plan 7 is what we're going to get started on. The tutorials for Learning Plan 6 are due this evening. So Learning Plan 6 was kind of really getting acclimated to kind of remembering dimensioning stuff that we learned in previous classes. But really the focus there was learning how to create a format sheet and a template sheet. Okay, so you go through that process. Now that's great information and it's a great process to go through because then you can customize things and make your borders, you know, to the appropriate sizes. So they had you practice making A size borders, and then we're just going to use A size for this learning plan and then the next one. Now, in Learning Plan 7, we're going to really start making drawings. So that's what our focus is today. So make sure you go through those tutorials in Learning Plan 6. And then there's also some questions here, like review questions. I think it was almost all of them at the end of the chapter that you can use the chapter to help you with that. So Learning Plan 6 questions are also due. So they're going to be found in the Learning Plan folder underneath the homework here. Okay, so both of those two things are there. So doing the tutorials and then doing the screenshots and uploading the PDFs. And then those questions are just on Blackboard submitted. Okay, so don't forget to do those. Those are still here. But we are going to move on to Learning Plan number 7, which is our last learning plan in this class. And it's going to be on the engineering drawings and making the detailed drawings from some of the things that we've created throughout these first weeks here, using all the other commands, the extrude, the revolve, the patterns, all that kind of stuff. So as we look here, our homework assignment, there is just one homework assignment. Oh no, I'm sorry, there's 2 homework assignments. I talked too quickly. There are some tutorials to do here. There's 4 tutorials, and I had spoken to this last week, that if anybody wanted, if they were done with 6 and they wanted to start working ahead, they could. So the 4 tutorials walk us through creating drawings for just a 3-view drawing for an upper plate. That's the first one. Then doing a section view, an auxiliary view, and then I think it's a section view again. I forget, but there's that last one. Create those final PDFs, those snapshots, and then upload those to the Dropbox here. So first tutorials, and then the drawings. I picked 4 drawings for you, 2 of which are very straightforward and 2 that are easy. The focus is really on making the drawings, but 2 of them are drawings that you had done before. Okay, so you can just pull those up and create the actual, or not drawings, the models, and then creating the drawings for those. And each one of those is worth 10 points. Now, right now on the calendar, I do have these due next week, Monday, at the end of the day. So tutorials are due on Thursday for this particular one, and then drawings are on Monday at the end of the day. If you need a little bit of extra time, I realize I'm pushing you a little bit at the end here. And so the nice thing is that we're going right into another Creo class. So if you need next week to work on these, just let me know. When you submit, they might show that they're late, but I'm not going to take any points off. Okay, so just know that these are soft due dates to get done by the end of the course. But if we go into next week, it's totally fine. Okay, I'm not opposed to that. Just let me know. Just let me know that you want to exercise that option, and I will definitely say yes. So let's look at one other thing here. So in the homework down here, I have an extra, and I think I'm going to move this actually. I'm going to move this. I don't like where it's at because that's where I was like, I don't see it where I want it to be. I'm going to put this into the learning plan. Sorry. Hearing drawings. Yeah, I'm going to put it in here. And I just pushed it back a layer because I think you need to see them here. So you'll notice that I have an LTC A-size border formats and templates for you here. These I found that were from like previous years. So they have the LTC logo in the bottom right-hand corner. And what you need to do is there's an LTC A2 view and an LTC A3 view, okay? And there's the format sheet that goes along with it. All three of these need to be in the same directory, okay? So you can't just download the LTC template 3 view and put it in, because it's not going to come up. It needs that format sheet for it to reference. So we have to have the LTCA format in that very same directory, okay? So make sure all three of these go in your working directory, because then you'll have everything come up as it's supposed to. Like I said, if you don't put the format sheet in there, then your title block isn't going to populate. You're just going to kind of have the outside, and that'll be it. So we want to have the full title block populate, so make sure that format sheet is there for you. So all three of these download, put it in your working directory. And again, for Learning Plan 7 here, A borders are all that we need. So I'm not going to put them all in there just yet, because we don't have to worry about the other ones. If you've already started and you're using the templates that you created from Learning Plan 6, great, totally fine. But if you wanted to do the LTC borders, they're here for you. Like I said, I didn't know they were out there until I did a little searching. So I found some. So we'll use them. Okay, so those are there. So let's look at that homework. So the tutorials, we're going to start on page 252, and then we're gonna do the first 2 tutorials today for sure. Maybe we'll get to the third one. We'll see how long we go. So starting on page 252, I'm going to go underneath my camera here. And we are going to be creating this upper plate and creating a drawing for it. I actually went through and I created the model already, so I don't want to waste our time today doing that, because really the focus is pulling in the border and making a full-fledged drawing. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start new, and actually I should set my working directory first, so it's going to be my Creo 1 on my desktop. And I'm going to start a new, now I'm going to create a drawing. So not a part, but I'm going to create a drawing. And the file name that you put in here is what's going to populate into the title block, okay, for the name. So I'm going to put in here actually it should all be caps, upper plate. And I'm going to say, okay. Oh, I can't have a space, underscore. Isn't Creo funny that way? It's like old times. It's like we've been using spaces for a while. Get on board. And then I'm gonna select up here my upper plate part. This is gonna be the model that I created. Okay. So I'm gonna hit OK. So that's gonna be up here on the default model. Then I'm gonna use a template, but I'm gonna browse for my template, and I'm gonna pick my LTCA template, the 3 views, okay, for this one. So I'm going to hit OK, and OK. I think we should be all set. All right, and now you'll notice it created it for me. So those templates are pretty darn smart. So top view, front view, and right side view. All right, now there's a whole bunch of stuff here. Now what you will notice is that it populated my title block for me already as well. So if you need to change any of that, you can just double click it, and you can change it for yourself. Now, as I look here, you'll notice that there's obviously dimensions here that I don't need, so I'm going to have to start cleaning things up. First things first, I'm going to go over here to the model tree, and underneath you're going to notice that there's a right, top, and front planes. We want to turn those off. They don't need to be on in the views that we have here. So you just select one, you right click, and you just say hide in model. So you'll notice that some of these are going to start kind of going away. Did I do something wrong? Hold on. Select that, and then I'm going to say hide in model, and then hide in model. Okay, so we've kind of cleaned up a little bit already. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go down to the Part C system definition. That's that X and Y coordinates. We're going to hide that in the model too. So that kind of cleaned things up. Now, as we look around here, what Creo does for us, it kind of sets up for us some guidelines on where our dimensions are going to go. So they have these dashed lines here, and these are based on the standard. And so you'll notice that these are really nice for when we want to place dimensions and they have the appropriate, kind of distance away from the part, but then also it's going to be nice and even spacing. You don't have to use them, but they're nice for a guide. So you'll notice that as they lay theirs out, they're kind of on these little lines here. So that's all that is. So when we do, for instance, a preview of when we would want to plot this or save it, those will disappear. Those will disappear. They're just there for creating. Now you'll notice that I have these radiuses. They're on each and every one of the corners where they're located. We can get rid of all of them because we could either add a note or we could just leave one and just say, like reference it or typical all over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first of all, if I want to get rid of a dimension, I'm going to click on it and I'm just going, or to activate it, and then I'm just going to hit this X to say delete, or you can just hit the delete key. Okay, so I'm going to go around and I'm going to do exactly that. Okay, and then I'm going to add a note a little bit later to simply, and I'm hitting my delete key here, and to simply say that all billets and rounds or all rounds are a radius of 0.02, because then we don't have to clutter up the drawing with that. All right.
We only need 2 views for this.
We do. Now, when we look here, you'll notice that. Now, they did lay it out, so I'm going to kind of stick with what they have here. They did lay it out with the 3 views to really kind of go through that process, but in this case, you're right. It's such a simple part. We probably don't need that right side view. The front and the top view kind of get everything that we need, but we'll kind of leave it here so that you can see how that comes out. Now, a couple things. As we look, we want to make sure that we have our center lines in place. So I'm going to put center lines in first. So you'll notice when I go over the top here, I activate a view. If I left click in it or pick it, I'm going to go to, it's going to come up with a menu, and I'm going to hit properties, okay? Now in properties, I'm going to go over to, I think I'm in the wrong place here. Visible area. No. Right one here.
Maybe if you
right click.
Circle.
Oops. Annotate, and then show model. Sorry, there's so many different views here, so sorry about that. I know what I'm going to use that for a little bit later. I was mistaken. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to say show model annotations. This is what I was looking for. Okay. Now, what this will do is this will show all of your dimensions. They'll show them back up. Now, these are red. That means that I already deleted them and they're not going to be there. I could re-put them all back in by selecting all if I wanted to, and I can show each one, but I'm not going to. Where I want to go is all the way to the end here, and these are my center lines. So I'm going to say I want to show the center lines, and notice that they pop up in here. And I can say apply, and then cancel. And then I can click the next view, and I can do the same thing. Show annotations, show, and then apply. And then cancel, and then I'm going to go in here, show annotations, and apply. Apply, and cancel. So now I've got my center lines in place. Now you'll notice that the dimension here is over the top because it went to the center line. So I'm gonna kind of scooch in here, and if I select this dimension, what's kind of neat is that when you get to the end of it, there's this little dot. And all I'm going to do is I can just move it. And then you want to have a little bit of a gap here, right? And you can just stop, and there you can place your dimension. You also want to always have your gap on the part itself from the dimension to the part. So I'm going to do that again, and I'm going to create my little gap. Okay? So it's really easy actually to change things up as far as dimensions. I got my gap here, so that one looks okay. You'll notice that in this case I have my and you can just use your roller to pan. You'll notice that I have my 1.25 dimension here for the center of that hole in this view, and then the diameter of the hole is down here. Not where I want it to be, right? Not the good place. So the hole should be dimensioned where we see it as a circle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight that dimension. I'm going to select it, and you'll notice that a little menu comes up, and it says move to view. So I want to move this to up here. So now I just click on that view, and it's automatically going to put it on that other view. And now I can select it and move it, to wherever I want it to go. And that's where these little like marks are nice because it'll snap to there and it has a spacing already available to us. So I'm going to kind of scooch this out here a little bit. And if you wanted to add information before or after this, if you select that dimension and you go up to dimension text, it automatically goes there. If you dimension that, you can put, notice that they have the diameter symbol before, and then they would have whatever your dimension is, and you can put something after if you want. Sometimes what I like to do for like a hole like this, I know it's just a hole, but I like putting through so that you know that it's all the way through. And I'm just going to hit click, and then it's in there. Okay, so you can put before, after, you can add notes to it. It's really nice. And then the other dimension I want to move is going to be this 1.25. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to move to top view, and now we see that there. Now here again, notice that where it put the endpoints of my dimension, I'm going to scooch this out so it's a little further away. I'm going to bring this down so I see my gap. Make sure we do that. It's like a big deal to me. It's like one of those little details we want to make sure that we exercise. Okay, so we've got our 1 inch. I think I may change, so just so I have something in this other view over here, the right side view, I'm going to take this dimension, I'm going to change it to the right side view. Okay, and I'm going to put that down here just so that there's a dimension over there. Okay, then I'm going to clean up my front view here. So I want to take this, and actually probably the better place for this dimension is like over here, right? We want to put things between our views. Okay, and you'll notice that we have a gap there. I'm going to scooch this up to up here.
Maybe in between the views, top and the front, the 250 is moved.
Yep, that should go up here, right? Yep, yeah. Better place. And we'll do that for the 1 inch as well. Put it up on top since that one's up there. It kind of makes sense to do that, doesn't it? Yeah. And it leaves more room for any notes that we might want to add. How does that look, Kush?
Good.
All right. All right. Now, as we look here, you'll notice that I'm probably going to want to add, I could put a note for those radiuses, but I want to add, I could put a dimension for one of them and then say like, 8 times or whatever it might be. But I'm going to do one of those general notes instead. And the general note, it's under the annotate tab, and it's just a note right here. And I'm just going to click on that, and I'm going to place my text right above my title block. Okay, and I'm just going to say all rounds radius, and it was at 0.02, I think. Yep. And then I just click outside. I think that's it, and then I'm good to go. Really easy. I actually feel that they've really improved. I used Creo some number of years ago when it was still called Pro-E, and actually, no, it was Wildfire. It was the second version of Pro-E. And their dimensioning was so hard. It was really, really clunky. They've improved on it so much. It's really easy now. So now it looks like I'm all set, ready to go. So this is like I said, the LTC border. Just make sure that you have the format sheet and the border in whatever directory that you're pulling from. And I think I'm good to go. Now, if I wanted to kind of preview this and see how it looked, I'm going to go to File, and then print, and then I'm going to do preview, okay? And this is how it would actually print out. And this is a great way to see, is everything the way that I want it to be? And I could either print at this point, or I could, or just, close this out. That's what I'm going to do because I don't need to print. And then I want to make sure that I save it. And now it's going to save it as a drawing file. So notice that it's upperplate.drw, and it's going to put it into your working directory. And just save. So now if I go to my file manager and I look in that same directory, .301, you'll notice that I have an upper plate, should be at the bottom here. I've got a DRW and I have a part. Okay, so the DRW is the drawing that I just created. Okay, so any questions? That's kind of the first kind of basic laying it out, okay, using the template. So I'm going to just X out of here and kind of start over. And what we're going to do is we're going to do the next tutorial, which is going to be a section view. And that starts on page 259 here, and it's going to be the four-hole hub. So I'm going to go back into Creo. And I like starting fresh. I don't know, and maybe because I was using my laptop before, and I did get a new laptop now, my Creo 7. And now I'm on the desktop. So I know it's definitely faster and improved, but I always felt like I needed to kind of close out Creo and come back in, and it felt like it performed better than if I tried to go with something that was already there. I know you can, but I'm kind of used to that process. So if you're like, why are you always going in and out? That's why. I found it just worked a little better. So I'm going to go to my working directory, okay? And I'm going to do another new drawing. Now again, I'm going to start with my drawing, and I'm going to call this four-hole. I don't know if it's going to let me use. Yeah, it's going to say I can't use that dash there. Okay, four-hole hub. Okay. Oh, because of space. Creo. All right. I'm going to browse to my model. It's the top one here for me. So open, use template. I'm going to browse to, now this time I'm going to use the two-view one. I'm going to say okay, and I'm going to open. And I think I'm all set. Open. Okay. So now when this came in, it isn't in the orientation that I wanted. Okay. And that's okay, because what we're going to do is we're going to select the view here, and we're going to edit the definition of the view. So I'm going to go here, and I selected my left side view because this is the one that I basically want to turn this up 90 degrees. Okay. So I'm in my front view here, and I have the front view selected. So make sure you're on that view, the one that I did select before I went in here. And I'm going to hit angle, okay? And it says, oh, it's going to modify the view and blah, blah, blah. That's okay. Yes, totally fine. And what I need to do is I need to go 90 degrees because I want to rotate this up. And I'm going to say apply, and I'm going to say okay. And notice that, that it also then put in projection my right side view along with what's going on here. Okay, so that's how you can switch that up. Now, the dimensions are all over the place, and we need to do a lot of cleaning up here, but that's okay. It's no worries. So I'm going to start with getting rid of my planes. So I'm selecting that right plane, height and model, top height and model, front height and model, and then the UCS. We're going to height and model. Okay, so that helped us out a lot. And then here, you could start pulling things away if you wanted to, all right? So you can highlight a dimension and pull it away just to kind of get yourself, your bearings on where you're at, okay? Some of these items we're going to want to put, in different places, but kind of pull them off the part just so we get, an idea of where we're at, because they're pretty crazy right now. Here. And again, I know I'm going to place these differently, but just want to kind of get them off the part here. Okay. All right. So, all right. First one I'm probably going to do is this diameter of 1.75. Since it's a through hole, it's really better over on the right side view where we see it as a hole. So I'm going to select that dimension, and I'm going to move it to the right side view here. And then it puts it kind of weird, so I'm going to kind of put it up and out of the way for right now. Then you'll also notice that we have the radius of 0.25. It looks like there's 4 of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this one, delete, delete. And again, I'm using right now, any others? Oh, here's the last one right there. Okay. And I'm going to leave this one. I think this is how the drawing calls it out. So I'm maybe going to leave this one, but you could very well put a note on here. Any, fillets and rounds are 0.25. You could do that as a general note if you wanted to. All right, so my next one, let's see. My next one is going to be my hole here. Now, I changed this already, so it must have remembered this from before. So let's kind of take a pick. I'm selecting this. I'm going to put it in the right side view because this is the call out for the 4 small holes, okay? So here that is.
So it is dimensioning.
What was that?
The holes are hidden.
Yeah, the holes are hidden. And when we have holes that we know are going through, it's always best to try to pick that circular view. When we have solid cylinders, then the side view is a little bit better. But it's kind of a call. That's a guide, all right? So it kind of makes, you got to kind of use what seems to make sense. Now let me click on this dimension here. When I click on it, notice that the dimension text box comes up again. I'm going to click on that. So here is where, and I don't know why, it's remembering it, I think from the model for some reason, because I was working on these over the weekend, just playing around with them. So I know that there's 4 holes by, so 4 by here, and then space. It's going to have the diameter symbol in front of whatever the dimension is. And then you can put something in back of it. Now, when I was playing around with it, you could do probably equally spaced ES, okay? I think that'll kind of even that out. And then after the dimension, you can add text as well, okay? So I added on a diameter of 5 bold circle, okay? That's how I usually call it out. The book puts the bold circle over here, all right? I think it's better to put it in one dimension because then you don't have to look around to see, okay, what is the bold circle size? So it's all, you can do it all in one note. And that really is, I believe, the most efficient. So it's a choice. It's a choice. You can either do it the way the book does it and puts the center line here and dimensions that, or you can put it all in one note for that bold circle. So I'm going to get rid of the diameter or the radius of 2.5, which is that bold circle. Okay, so we're getting there. All right. Diameter of 3.75, that's this side over here, so I'm going to scooch that there. This diameter of 2 inches. Now, we're going to make a section view, so it might not be a bad idea to put it there. I'm going to scooch this over a little bit closer. And then I want to add my center lines, and then we're going to do our section view in just a second. So I'm going to click on here, and I'm going to go to Annotate and Show Model Annotation. And again, I'm going to go to that last tab, and I'm going to select all of these guys, and I'm going to say Apply, and I'm good. There we go. They're in that view. Then I'm going to go over here to my front view, Show Model Annotation, select all, Apply, and Cancel. And my center lines are in here. Now, the next thing I'm going to do over in the right side view, I'm going to kind of move my dimensions around so that they're not on the model itself. Again, I might move them a little bit. Okay. They're pretty good. Maybe I'll go a little bit further away with this one. Better. Okay. All right, so none of them are on the actual part itself. And again, I'll probably play around with the position of some of these dimensions. Now I'm ready to create my section view. Okay, I'm ready to create my section view. So I'm gonna click on this view and I'm gonna edit the definition. Okay, and I am going to go to sections, and I'm going to do a 2D section, and I'm going to do a plus, and I'm going to call it A, and I'm going to say apply. Okay, and look, it populated in here for me. Now, the other thing I need to do is in the background here, it may not be easy to see on the screen, but there are hidden lines in the background. And in a section view, we never add hidden lines. So we need to go to View Display and do No Hidden. Okay, and then apply, and it takes away those hidden lines for us. And then okay. Now I haven't used SolidWorks for a little while. How does this compare to SolidWorks, how they do some of these things, or is it a little different? Probably, I would think a little bit different.
You just have to, for section view, I think you just have to make line for the front view.
Oh, sure,
you just
yeah.
reflect it.
Well, now we do have to add our arrows, don't we? Okay, so we need to add our arrows, and what we're gonna do is, I think it's on layout, and we're gonna add arrows, okay? So we're gonna do insert your arrows in your projection view, and we're gonna click on this view. Oh, shoots, I knew it. I knew I was gonna do the wrong one. So let me, oh, shoots, how do I?
Just delete it.
I know, but this is where I have, there we go, delete, okay. Arrows, and then I'm gonna hit this view. Arrows. Oh no, I think I have to do it first and then arrows. Layout. Arrows. Now why isn't it working? It just worked. It just worked the wrong way. Why isn't that working for this one? Arrows. Of course. I was actually doing pretty good here. Let me go annotate. And layout. Let me just make sure I'm doing it. I just did it. I just did it the wrong way. I add my arrows. Highlight. Yeah, layout. Select arrows. On the top of the screen, pick the section front view. So layout, arrows, section front view. It does not want to do it. Why would that be? Well, that is a mystery. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. I do not know what I'm doing wrong. Go here. This. I'm like, I think I might be in a something's not quite right here. Oh. Open. It's gonna let me open, but why can't I save? What is going on here? I feel like I'm gonna, oh, there we go. Save. Okay, now let's try this again. Go to layout, arrows, click. I don't know why it's not working. I also feel like some other things aren't working here quite right. Let me close out and go back in. I will terminate my work that I didn't save. And I'll go back in. Gosh, one last little detail. It was almost there. open up. Open. That's started over for me, kind of. Let me get rid of hide these planes. And hide. Okay, everything else seems to be in order. So let's try the arrows again. So I'm going to click on that view. And then arrows. Click on that view. It just does not want to work. I don't know what I don't know if there's something not quite right. Tables, annotate. Let me move some things around here. Maybe if I do something different. Maybe if I do something different here. Okay, see now I can't select my dimensions either. I don't know what is layout, arrows. Now it worked. Now my arrows worked. Look at that.
Okay.
What did I do different, Kush?
Nothing.
Nothing. I know. Don't we love that about software? Now I can select everything too that I want to do, and it's working okay. The joys of technology, right? Okay. So placing all these guys where we want them to go. One thing you'll notice that here, it did not fill in my name. So if that ever happens, all you need to do is double click and it should select for you. Double click. Now again, look at that. Just is not cooperating. Should be able to, I can select this, that's totally fine, but why can't I select in here?
Maybe if we right click or something.
Oh.
Okay.
Because literally, I was right clicking, I was. Let me do a save.
That's fine. I mean, we can probably get
There it is. Now look at, I was able to select it now. See, it's not my imagination. KRR, there we go.
Okay.
And I can do the same thing down here for material. So 1018 12 seal. And then my drawing number, we really don't have a number. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Okay. So now I think I'm pretty much all set. I feel pretty good about this. And I'm just going to do a file, print, and do a print preview. And I think it looks good. Besides a little bit of technical difficulties here right at the end, I think it went okay.
Yeah.
I think it went okay. Any questions? Okay. All right. So the next two that we have here, the last two tutorials I was planning on doing tomorrow, auxiliary view and the next one. And then I was going to do some demos of the drawings on Wednesday and Thursday. So we'll kind of stay busy with planning a lecture for each one of our days, kind of progressing along. But in the meantime, make sure that you get learning plan number 6 done, which is chapter 7, doing the templates and the format sheets. And then moving here to the learning plan number 7, which is doing the drawings. So any questions, Josh?
Oh, everything makes sense.
All right. Sorry about our little difficulties at the end there, but I think that was computer issues. I don't know. It seems to work sometimes and not others.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That was something weird.
That's the way it goes sometimes. All right. Thank you. And then if you have any questions, let me know.
Okay. Time to